Hi everybody, Father Rich Jasper from Immaculate Conception and St. Jude Mission Church. We are in the second week of Lent. It is Thursday, March 5th, and the Gospel of Luke today brings us to the story of Lazarus and the rich man. And so Luke writes from chapter 16. Jesus said to the Pharisees, there was a rich man who dressed in purple garments and fine linen and dined sumptuously each day. And lying at his door was a poor man named Lazarus, covered with sores, who would gladly have eaten his fill of the scraps that fell from the rich man's table. Dogs even used to come and lick his sores. When the poor man died, he was carried away by angels to the bosom of Abraham. The rich man also died and was buried. And from the netherworld, where he was in torment, he raised his eyes and saw Abraham far off and Lazarus at his side. And he cried out, Father Abraham, have pity on me. Send Lazarus to dip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am suffering torment in these flames. Abraham replied, My child, remember that you received what was good during your lifetime, while Lazarus likewise received what was bad. But now he is comforted here, whereas you are tormented. Moreover, between us and you, a great chasm is established to prevent anyone from crossing, who might wish to go from our side to yours, or from your side to ours. He said, Then I beg you, Father, send him to my father's house, for I have 5 brothers, so they may warn them, lest they too come to this place of torment. But Abraham replied, They have Moses and the prophets, let them listen to them. And he said, Oh no, Father Abraham, but if someone from the dead goes to them, they will repent. Then Abraham said, If they will not listen to Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded if someone should rise from the dead. There's a lot here. Obviously, Jesus is speaking about his own resurrection, and so therefore he's foreshadowing what will happen, right? Jesus himself will suffer, die, and rise from the dead in order to save us from sin and death. And so that whole argument of, well, no matter who I send, they won't believe if their hearts aren't open to the understanding that God in his love will do whatever it takes to save souls. And in that love, he went to the cross to save us. So that's starting point number 1. But I think the other piece to this story, at least for our reflection for today, for this time of Lent, is really to just take a moment and focus on the rich man and his relationship with Lazarus. And I think the one thing that I keep coming back to whenever I pray with this and read this is the fact that the rich man who was given everything chose to ignore the poor man at his door. Just chose to say that my world is the only thing that matters, and the living in the moment of my own selfish will is what matters, and so I don't care about anybody else but me. That's the first piece of this. And then when both go back to judgment, the thing that strikes me so powerfully is that even in that space, the rich man still wanted to use Lazarus to do something for him. He was still using another person for his own selfish pleasure or for his own selfish needs. And there's where I think the challenge comes in, because sometimes in the world in which we live in, whether we realize it or not, we end up using other people for our own selfish needs and wants. And so today, it's a pause day. It's a reflection day to say, in what ways am I using others? Are there family members that I'm using to just do things for me and I never give anything in return? When I'm in the store, am I respecting those that work technically for the customer? Or am I treating them as human beings? Am I seeing them with the eyes of God, with the heart of God? Or are they simply just people that are in my way or doing things for me? I guess ultimately the question is, how am I walking with others in this world? Is it really all about me? and what I need and what I want and what I deserve and what I demand? Or is it about walking with the heart of God and seeing others as God sees them? See, the rich man never did that. And so therefore, even in that moment of death, in that judgment space, he still was trying to use the poor man Lazarus to do his bidding. And that's not what this journey is about. It really is about making sure that we see with the heart of God, that we, again, the theme this week really has been servant leadership. It really is, can I become the person that is willing to step into another's life with mercy and walk with them and love them, and together we find God. God bless you.